What's good, YouTube, and welcome to another KaibaHacksDartz Yu-Gi-Oh video. Today we're here with another deck profile, deck update, whatever you like to call it. And this is our Inzektor deck profile update for December 2024. Now, the Inzektors are a classic little insect archetype with a lot of weird little tech, which is basically you can equip certain Inzektors to each other to get effects. So we'll start here with 3 Inzektor Hopper. Once per turn, you can equip 1 Inzektor monster from your hand or graveyard to this card. And while this card is equipped to a monster, that monster's level is increased by 4. While this card is equipped to a monster, you can send this equipped card to the graveyard, and the monster is equipped to can attack directly this turn. And other monsters can attack the turn you activate this effect. So, he's obviously a nice little tech piece, one of my favorites, because, you know, I love that direct attack shenanigans. So he's fun in that respect. Plus, he's also helpful with some of the plays, of course. So 3 of him. Next, we're checking into 3 Inzektor Centipede, sorry. It is once per turn, you can equip 1 Inzektor monster from your hand or graveyard to this card. And if an equipped card/cards is sent to your graveyard while equipped to this card, except during the damage step, you can add 1 Inzektor card from your deck to your hand. And while this card is equipped to a monster, that monster's level is increased by 3. So obviously there's a lot of different plays with that, of course, getting them to different levels for different extra deck shenanigans. And next we are running 3 Inzektor Hornet. Once per turn, you can equip 1 Inzektor monster from your hand or graveyard to this card. Well, this card is equipped to a monster. That monster's level is increased by 3. Also, it gains attack and defense equal to this card's attack and defense. While this card is equipped to a monster, you can send this equipped card to the graveyard, then target 1 card on the field and destroy that target. So obviously, this can work with your Inzektor Centipede to kind of pop off multiple effects at once. A lot of their plays kind of work like that. Next, we are running 3 Inzektor Ladybug. Once per turn, you can equip 1 Inzektor monster from your hand or graveyard to this card. And while this card is equipped to a monster, that monster's level is increased by 2. Also, it gains attack and defense equal to this card's attack and defense. And while this card is equipped to a monster, you can send this equipped card to the graveyard, then target 1 face-up monster you control, increase that target's level by 1 or 2. So more ways to kind of beef up those levels to go into whatever extra act plays you might be running. And of course, more stuff to pop off with like Centipede or some of the other effects in the deck. Next, we're running 2 Inzektor Dragonfly. It is once per turn, you can equip 1 Inzektor monster from your hand or graveyard to this card. And if equipped card/card is sent to the graveyard while equipped to this card, except during the damage step, you can special summon 1 Inzektor monster from your deck, except Dragonfly. And while equipped to a monster, its level is increased by 3. So another one that can work with the Ladybug and the, whatever the other one was, sorry. The Hornet. I was going to say Hopper, I always get them kind of mixed up. Of course, you can kind of pop off multiple effects at once. Next, we are running 2 Giga Cricket. I'd like to get some of the other Giga Boys, but they are a tad expensive / hard to find. So this is all we have for now, but he is still a pretty decent little card. It is, if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish 1 insect monster from your graveyard to target 1 face-up Inzektor monster you control. Equip this card from the graveyard to that target. The effect of Inzektor Giga Cricket can only be used once per turn. And well, equipped to a monster, that monster's original attack becomes 2,000. And if it attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing to your opponent. So of course, this can work with your Hopper to try and pop off a huge direct attack, you know, as well as some of the other equipped cards. Plus, he's just a beefy little boy himself as well, but of course, he's a tribute. Next, we're running 1 Inzektor Earwig. He's just a fun little side piece. It is once per turn, you can equip 1 Inzektor monster from your hand or graveyard to this card. While this card is equipped to a monster, that monster gains attack and defense equal to this card's attack and defense. When this card is sent to the graveyard, while equipped to a monster, that monster that was equipped to gains 1,000 attack until the end phase. So, obviously, another one you can kind of try and pop off to, you know, get more attack in, or, you know, work in some of the other Inzektor plays. Next, we're running 2 Contact C. This is when your opponent normal or special summons a monster, except during the damage step. You can special summon this card from your hand to the opponent's side of the field in defense position, and they And this card's controller cannot fusion, synchro, exes, or link summon unless they use this card as material. So this can hopefully stall them out, make their plays a little bit smaller, shorten it out, and maybe you can get in some bigger plays on your turn. Now, like last time, we do have a little bit of the digital bug stuff still in here, and we're working on taking it out. Of course, we'd put in some of the Giga Boys, but these guys do work pretty well, and similar levels, at least for the smaller stuff. And it cannot be used as an Xyz material for an Xyz summon, except for the Xyz summon of an insect monster. When you normal summon a level 3 insect monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can make both this card and that card level 5 or 7. So obviously it works with, being level 3, and then the 5 and 7 plays that you can kind of go into. If this card is special summoned from the hand, you can change the battle position of one insect monster you control. An insect monster, or an Xyz monster that was summoned using this card on the field as a material, gains this effect. This card gains 1000 attack and defense. So you can use this to go into some of the bigger extra, deck monsters, those special summons, and try and boost them up a little bit more. Digital Bug Web Soldier, we are running 1. Cannot be used as Xyz material except for an insect one. And once per turn, you can target one face-up attack position monster you control, change it to defense position, and if you do, special summon one level 3 insect monster from your hand in defense position. An Xyz monster that was summoned using this card on the field gains this effect. If it is Xyz summoned, the defense of all face-up monsters your opponent controls becomes 0. Also change them to defense. So, obviously could be used pretty dirtily to just kind of clear them out. Then, if we're using that, piercing damage that we can get, we can potentially do even more and just go right through their defenses, basically like a direct attack. Next, we got the Digital Bug Cocoon Denser. Same thing with its Xyz ability. And it is if this card is in attack position, you can target one level 3 insect monster in your graveyard, change this card to defense position, and if you do, special summon that monster in defense position. And an Xyz monster that was summoned using this card as a material gains this effect. If this card attacks a defense position monster, your opponent's cards and effects cannot be activated until the end of the damage step. So it's a little tech piece. I'd maybe throw in a Web Soldier if I had another one, but that works. Next, we have a super armored robot armed Black Iron Sea. It is if you have 3 insect monsters with the same name in your graveyard, you can target any number of them and special summon this card from your hand, then equip them to this card. You can send one monster equipped to this card by this card's effect to the graveyard to destroy all monsters your opponent controls, with attack greater than or equal to the attack of all the monsters sent to the graveyard. You can only use the effect of a super armored robot armed Black Iron Sea once per turn. So I thought he was just kind of fun and weird, and he fits in with the kind of equippedness of the cards. Plus, you might be able to get him boosted up even more with some of their, obvious attack boosts and such. Lastly, for monsters, we are running a Bio Insect Armor. Is if this card is in your hand or graveyard and you do not control Bio Insect Armor, you can target one insect monster you control, equip this card to it, but banish it when it leaves the field. Also banish this equip card when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect of Bio Insect Armor once per turn. The equipped monster gains 1500 attack and 2000 defense during the battle phase and main phase 2 only. So another way to maybe boost up attack, go for those directs, or, just try and get over whatever monsters. Moving into the spells, we are running 3 of the Zektrike Kuo, and it is just such a nice piece for the deck. It is. This card is always treated as an Inzektor card. Send one other Inzektor card from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard, then activate one of these effects. Choose one Inzektor monster from your deck and either special summon it or equip it to an Inzektor monster you control. Equipped one Inzektor monster. Equip spell from your deck to one Inzektor monster you control. So, obviously, it is super versatile. You can even get rid of one of them to activate it because it is also it's also treated as an Inzektor card. So it is a super crucial piece to the deck for sure. Next, we're running 3 Insect Imitation, a nice little staple for insect decks. Tribute one monster and special summon one insect monster from your deck whose level is 1 higher than the tributed monster that was on the field. So lots of useful tech there to bring out whatever specific card we might be trying to bring out. Next, we got 3 of the Inzektor Sword Zect, equipped only to an Inzektor monster, sorry. It gains 800 attack and defense. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, target one Inzektor monster in your graveyard and add that target to your hand. So some good recycling power, plus it just works with, Zektrike, Yugioh, and stuff like that. Next, we're running one Verdant Sanctuary. Probably throw more of these in there. I just have them in some other decks. I know I got some extra copies that I could probably toss in. But one works for now. And it is when a face-up insect monster is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, its controller can add one insect monster with the same levels as the destroyed monster from their deck to their hand. So it can be pretty useful for some, bigger plays. Next, we have one copy of Bug Matrix. All insect monsters you control gain 300 attack and defense. You can target one insect type Xyz monster you control, attach one insect monster from your hand to that monster as Xyz material. So, you can kind of use this to pop off with some of the, the bug plays, the digital bug, sorry. I couldn't think of what the word was. Change of Heart is what we're running next. Just a nice little fun piece. I thought it'd be fun to be taking some of their opponent's monsters, and then obviously you could maybe use it for extra deck plays, but it's a fun, just little staple-y piece. And then a Monster Reborn, pretty self-explanatory. Lastly, for the traps, we are just running one Inzektor Orb. Target one face-up Inzektor monster you control. Equip this card to it. Equip this card to that target, and it gains 500 attack and offense. And when exactly one Inzektor monster you control is targeted by a card effect, except during the damage step, you can send this equip card to the graveyard and negate that effect. It's, it's usable, it's not usable, it's kind of up to you how much you'd want to run this. But it's something, it's another Inzektor-y piece. And lastly, for the traps, we have Call the Haunted, just to maybe bring out some more dudes for some plays. Moving into the extra deck, we got 3 Armor Horn. Great little extender here. It is 2 insect monsters, link 2. You cannot special summon monsters except insect monsters, and you can only use each of the following effects of Beach Trooper Armor Horn once per turn. During your main phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon one insect monster, and if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish 3 other insect monsters from your graveyard and special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. So this is a great way to, possibly extend into some bigger link plays with your insect monsters. Plus, he's just got a decent little bit of attack. You might be able to go in with him for something, but he is a nice little extender. Next, we have 2 Shinobi Insect Hagokuruminu. I don't know how you say it, but 2 monsters with different names. While this card points to a monster, your opponent's monsters cannot target this card for attacks. If a monster this card points to is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower insect monster from your hand or graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. So you can start to use this to extend and work into some other stuff. Next, move that up there. We got 2 Inzektor Piccofelina, 2 insect monsters, link 2. This card is link summon. You can discard 1 card, then target 1 other insect monster you control, and equip 1 insect monster from your deck to it as an equip spell that gains this effect. The equipped monster gains 500 attack and defense. You can target 3 insect monsters in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, then draw 1 card. So obviously some recycle power, but it also works with the equip spell-y kind of stuff, and then just getting the boost of 500 attack and defense could be that game changer. Next, we got 1 Giant Bee Trooper Invincible Atlas. This is kind of your big boy if you do happen to get out enough insect monsters. And it is, this card is link summoned, this link summoned card has 3,000 or less attacks, having a stroke. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also, it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. You cannot special summon monsters except insect monsters, and you contribute 1 insect monster, then activate one of these effects. Special summon 1 Bee Trooper monster from your deck, which obviously we're not really working, but this card gains 2,000 attack until the end of the turn. So just, some beefable play, something you can maybe work with, and you can maybe throw in a Bee Trooper as kind of a garnet in your deck to maybe work with. Next, we got 1 Seraphim Papillion, 2+ monsters with different names, gains 200 attack for each counter on it, and you can only use one of the following effects of Papillion once per turn, and only once that turn. If this card is link summoned, place 1 counter on this card for each insect monster used as its link material. Quick effect, you can remove 1 counter from this card and special summon 1 level 4 or lower insect monster from your graveyard in defense position. So, you know, obviously you could use this to kind of try and extend those plays a little bit farther. Next, we just threw in a Nightmare Phoenix. This is just some filler. We also have a Castell in the link kind of section here. We threw in a Digital Bug, Scaradiator, two or more level 3 light insect type monsters. So basically this is going to be more of our, you know, digital buggy stuff. But once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach 2 Xyz materials from this card, then target 1 monster your opponent controls. Change its battle position. If you do, it has its effects negated until the end of this turn. Once per turn, when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can attach that destroyed monster to this card as a material. So it's just some kind of offside plays into the chance that we get a lot of digital bugs going. And lastly, 2 Inzektor Exostag. I do have the other one somewhere. I'm just not 100% sure where it is, but I'd toss them in, maybe 1 copy. And it is once per turn, you can attach 1 material from this card, then target 1 monster your opponent controls or in the graveyard. Equip that target to this card. This card gains attack and defense equal to half the original attack and defense of the monsters equipped by this effect. So obviously, lots of plays to go off with this boy, and lots of equippy stuff you can get into. And that pretty much wraps up the deck. Of course, it's a work in progress, like all the decks here. I'm slowly working on it, making it better, and I'm always open to suggestions, so, you know, let me know in the comments if you have any ideas or anything I could tech into the deck or should try taking out. I'm always open to suggestions. Otherwise, make sure to check out my other videos. You know, I do lots of deck profiles pretty actively, as well as Yu-Gi-Oh! DIY projects, pack openings, all kinds of different Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. So make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you know when future content is coming out. And otherwise, thanks for watching. Peace.